and onward and upward, hopefully.
Absolutely. How about them Cowboys, right?
Oh, boy. Oh, what happened there?
I heard that little opening thing
Yeah.
there, and how about them Cowboys? No, but you know what was good about this win? All three phases were involved. You're going to look at the film as a coach, and you're going to find your offense, defense, special teams, protection. The line did better. Defense got a couple sacks, couple turnovers. So, this is a win that everybody's feeling good about. And when you have a win, any win's good. Don't get me wrong, but you like when the entire team is kind of got a hand in it, and it makes it that much easier getting ready for the next one.
As a defensive guy, how would you describe how much Dennis Allen adjusted his game plan, given the personnel and given the challenge of the Cowboy offense?
I thought he did a really good job. What we saw in the last probably 3-4 possessions is what I visualize as a Dennis Allen defense. Did you notice at the end of the game there were 6 guys at the line of scrimmage, and then they rushed 4. Or there were 6 guys and they dropped and rushed 3 or rushed 5, and people were moving around. When I was up at training camp, that's all I saw every time they went team, every time they competed against the offense. And that's what I remember about his defenses at Denver, New Orleans, and so forth. Not necessarily blitz. I mean, he only blitzed about 25 to 30% of the time. Now, coming into this game, we were around 20%. I checked the numbers of that, so he was definitely down on his pressures, and it makes sense because of the secondary being hurt. I thought we kind of got back to that a little bit at the end. He was obviously a little bit more comfortable with the game he felt in hand, and I think that'll carry over to this week. I mean, this is a good week, the pressure. We can get into it later, with their offensive line. Wow. Talking about Vegas coming up. So this should be a good week for the defense.
101 dropbacks, 12 sacks. So that's an opportunity for Montez Sweat to keep some momentum going and company.
That's Vegas?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. If we could get our goal was we were handing out game balls. If that's a lot of sacks per dropback. Absolutely. I'll leave it at that. But no, it was good. And I thought Ben did a nice job. I liked the play calling from the standpoint that. We ran the ball inside. We had play action passes. We had movement passes. We had the trick play, you could call it. So there, if you were coaching defense, and when I watch a game, I always look at it from that perspective. Okay, what do you got to zero in and stop right now? It was a well-called game. It was one of those defenses where you're not sure. Run, pass, play action, drop back, reverses, trick plays. He had the whole gambit, and it worked out. I mean, the players executed. You can have guys open. Caleb had DJ Moore open the week before and threw the ball 15 yards over his head. So, it's one thing of running a play at the right time, and then it's the other thing of having it open. And then the third thing, which is obviously the most important or as important, is having a quarterback that can get the ball where it's supposed to. So, it was a nice day. The trick play I liked. My first home game, I hate that play. Even though I ran it everywhere. The key, the key on trick plays, the only thing I did, I would always want to run it before the opponent. Whoever runs the trick play first, it seems like you can talk the other guy out of it. I'm serious. And I would say, but my first game as a head coach of the Bears, we played the Giants. We lost 26-20, and they hit us on a trick play. On a trick play. Phil Simms and their back was Rodney Hampton.
You always feel like they're cheating when they hit a trick play on you, like they're taking an easy way out, or they're doing some kind of gimmick that can't beat us straight up. But when it works, you feel pretty good about it.
And you do it at the right time too. You do it whenever you're feeling good at a momentum time. And Ben said it afterwards. He gave his assistant coaches a lot of credit. I really liked his press conference. He said, "Hey, my guys studied this and knew that their safeties were that aggressive that we could get behind them."
We're going to be right back with Coach Wannstedt for another segment. It's Mully and Haugh on the Score. Always fun to talk after a victory. It just a relief in a way, because all of the promise, all the expectations, there had been, the fourth quarter against Minnesota and then going to Detroit was a train wreck. To come back and have them win at home really was almost a relief. It was as much as anything else, and it was hinting at the idea that the coach knows how to call a play, that there's a pretty good feel for what to do, the quarterback improving, and the Bears maybe, just maybe, have a shot now going into Las Vegas with a chance to get back to 500.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the two areas that I would be looking at is continue. I love how Ben ran the ball 11 times. I mean, that's
11 straight.
11 straight.
How many times did you do that?
Coach.
Notice I didn't ask you if you had. Just how many?
Ricky, all I got to say is Ricky Williams. It didn't matter where I was at. Here, Raymond Harris. I mean, just talk to some of the backs that I've been around, okay? Ricky Williams, I think it was 13 or 14 straight. You got me on the story. We're playing Sunday night Buffalo, and it's a dogfight. We're both like 5-1 or something done, and our quarterback Jay Fiedler throws a ball. We got a 4-point lead, and he throws a ball and it bounces off the hands of a defensive back.
Oh boy!
And Norv Turner was our offensive coordinator. I think it was Norv, and I said, Norv, I've seen enough of this passing stuff. I don't want anybody to get the ball except Ricky. I think it was 13 times in a row, 10. I don't know, by himself. Nobody else touched it, and we might have thrown one pass in 14 plays or something. But it was. So no, I love that. That was right up. That's just right in my wheelhouse. But I thought my point is that yes, run the ball. And Parcells used to say it's not a matter how many yards you get. Sometimes it's about how many times you run the ball. They were balanced. The Bears were like 29 passes and 28 runs. They were completely balanced. I love that. We got to tighten up this run defense. We cannot. I would be telling our defensive players, guys, we can't stick our head in the sand with this. We're giving up five yards a carry.
Yes.
I mean, that is unacceptable. We got to be 3 yards or under. That concerns me. Keep finding ways to run the ball on offense, and we've got to do a better job, in my opinion, of stopping the run. Because the way Dallas was running the ball, that I kept saying we better have a lead. We got to get a lead. We don't want Dallas having a lead and sitting on it in the fourth quarter. I wasn't sure if we could stop them, running the ball. I mean, Tyreek Stevens, we got game balls to, I don't know who all got him, but I'd probably give him one. That play he had in the beginning.
Tone setter.
Tearing the ball out.
Coach, that was a tone setter. That turned the momentum of the game. They get on there and score.
Huge play.
Wow. Who knows where it goes from there, Anyway, keep working on running the ball, and let's tighten up that run defense. And I think this will be a good opportunity for us to do it.
This segment with Coach Wannstedt is sponsored by ChicagoRoofingContractors.org, providing all-weather protection for your business.
So Caleb Williams was complimented by his coach for mastering the operation. You didn't see the pre-snap penalties.
Yep.
He had a clean pocket, and he wasn't sacked for the first time since he played in college. And then as a result of both those things, he was able to pick his receivers, show his arm talent. When the first two things happen, you're going to see the quarterback people have been expecting to see all along. And that's why those little things that were maybe issues in the first couple weeks weren't issues this time.
Yes, and the touchdown of all the touchdowns, the one that I like the best from evaluating and watching Caleb grow.
4th and 4?
The one to DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And the reason was his initial, his first read, or maybe it was his first and second, were covered. There was a little bit of pressure on him, and he did not flush. He did not take off running to the sidelines and try to throw up a jump ball. He kind of sat in the pocket. He kept his eyes. Watch the quarterback's eyes, guys. That's how you can tell if they're affected by the rush or not. Any quarterback, when he drops back, if you see his eyes dropping, he's waiting for who's coming free. Forget about it. Coverage has changed in a split second. Guys think you were open, now they're covered. But what Caleb did there, he kept his eyes down the field and he found DJ, in the middle of the field, which was, to me, that was impressive. That tells me that's a step forward.
And what was great about it is DJ, I think, was his primary read, and he was covered, and then he kind of shifts, and you see the secondary coming up to deal with him about to run, and then he throws the ball to a wide open DJ Moore. It was really an excellent play.
Eyes down the field. That's what you want with your quarterback.
But would you have gone for it on 4th and goal at the 4? And did you think that was a bad decision at the time?
Oh, me. I probably wouldn't have. I would have probably kicked the field goal. But I'm conservative that way.
But I think a lot of people would have kicked the field goal. Yeah, at the end of a 19-play drive like that, you don't want to come away empty-handed.
Biggsy made a great point. How about the Cowboys? Would they have 3rd and 1 down near the goal line, and they throw it twice? Come on. I mean, that's the stuff that, I don't know.
We talked about it earlier, Dave, and we've talked about it a couple of times. When they tried to get they had a 4th and 2 just inside at midfield, basically, and they tried to get the Bears to jump off sides, and they didn't. So they have to burn a timeout, and then they kick a field goal. And they could have used that timeout at the end of the half. And
Absolutely.
They were out of timeouts by the end of the half. And then right after that is when they ran the trick play. It was almost like Olin said he felt that they were taking field goals, and Ben Johnson's message was, "I want touchdowns."
Yeah,
and they went up 14-3.
I like that. I mean, I that can happen. That can happen. I mean, I've been in a lot of games where, we're on offense, and we kick 2 field goals, and you say, "Oh boy, you're feeling good." But you're saying, boy, that's going to come back to haunt us. And, on the other side, you're playing great defense and you force the opponent. I've won a lot of games that way, too, because we just what the Bears did, force field goals, get touchdowns. I mean, that's and Dallas's defense. I don't, that's, hopefully Vegas's defense is like that. But it's a tough combination when you can't cover. Okay, and then you don't have a pass rush. That's a bad, usually you have one or the other, right?
Well, they used to have a pass rush.
Yeah, they used to have a pass rush. So, I mean, it was, that's a bad combination to have. I don't know how they're going to make much headway with that. But we caught, it's good. It's all about momentum.
Well,
and now Ben's got another challenge.
What's the challenge?
Now the challenge is, we have a win. You don't know how much pressure you do. I shouldn't say that. I hate saying that when someone reference someone doesn't know, even though a lot of people don't know. But you guys deal with it. You've been there. You've been around it. And getting that first win is a huge weight off your shoulder for a player. Caleb, 4 touchdown passes. Just on and on. That now the challenge for Ben is getting back to ground zero. And not going on the road. I mean, the Cowboys were giddy because they beat the Giants in overtime.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, they were giddy.
Do you think the Bears are too giddy?
No. What I'm saying is the Cowboys, that excitement they had, that was not a good thing.
Affected the preparation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and Ben's he's got his thumb on that. He's got obviously he does a great job of that. So the coaches are going to get back to ground zero with their attitude, and we can't go up there and assume that it's going to be easy against this Vegas team, and we got to be ready to play because it's the NFL every week.
Well, it started the week as road underdogs, and Ben Johnson told us that yesterday. Yeah. So his mindset might be nobody believes in you even now.
Right.
So that's probably a good mindset to have, or mentality to take to Vegas.
Absolutely. And, you'll find some things. I mean, oh, God, this is the best running back ever in the world. I mean, you're going to – they'll find – even though they're not blocking anybody.
They can't block anyone.
No, Coach, they're terrible.
What happens in Vegas? What's your gut about whether the Bears win or lose, or can they keep this momentum? Will it dissipate? Is it – harder to win in the NFL than at home, obviously?
Yeah, well, generally with a team, if you're giving up sacks like they are, you kind of convert to the running game and say, okay, offensive linemen, it's simpler to run the ball. Let's just run the ball. We got the best back in the NFL draft, but they're struggling running the ball too. So, You know, Geno Smith, I mean, he's a good, in my opinion, you know, he's a good quarterback when you can be balanced. When you can be balanced and throw some play action passes. That, if you look back over his career, go back to West Virginia days. That's when he was best, whenever they were running the ball and balanced. And, you know, I don't see that happen. I like the Bears. I mean, I think they got momentum. I think the right guys played well. They're feeling confident. And I think the defense will be a little more aggressive. I think every week you're going to see a little bit more aggressiveness with this defense with Dennis Allen, and that's a good thing.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah,
because
I think so.
You don't have the cornerbacks where that's really playing to their strengths.
No, but you can play off, and you can play a little softer coverage. You know, you can do some things to cover them. You're not going to get up there and press them, and you know, so. I think it's going to be good. I think that he's going to look at it now and say, we got to get more sacks in that. We got to get more pressures. And this might be the week where we can take advantage of it, you know. So, no, I feel good about this game. I think the Bears match up good. Like I say, keep working on that running game. And, you know, maybe this is a game where Kyle Monangai gets some more work, or they mix the backs in a little bit more.
Did he earn more work?
No, I don't know.
He did. He had a kind of a rookie moment. He was running the wrong direction.
Yeah,
that'll happen.
Oh God, that's he was used to being at Rutgers, coach. You know, you run the wrong direction, trying to get out of the way of those guys at Michigan or something. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I think that he is. If he's going to be your second running back, then you got to give him another chance to prove that he's worthy of that. You know, those carries, because DeAndre Swift can't. He gave your offense a spark with the screen. Yep. That was really important. That's his game.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's his game.
And he'll hit you early on the little outside zone play when defense starts aggressive and starts overrunning. He can find a seam and cut it back, you know. Closing out a game, that's my biggest issue right now. Okay, we got the lead. We got a 3-point lead, and we got the ball with 4 minutes to go. Can we pound the ball? I hope we can. With DeAndre Swift and make enough first downs to run the clock. I think that's the key.
That was the extraordinary thing about that game, is that they used the explosive plays, and that was great, and they built a lead. But that 19-play drive. And even though they weren't going anywhere, they continued to run the ball. They ran 11 straight times. They were averaging like 3 yards a carry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they converted a third. And I'm just saying, that's what you want to see them be able to do. And
Absolutely.
You'd like them to get 5 yards a crack.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't get another running back, whether it's out of the draft, and I know they waited till the 7th round and all the rest of it. Why didn't they sign Chubb? Why didn't they sign somebody out of the draft? I just don't understand what that thinking was, but I guess maybe people wanted more money or more years and they were willing to surrender.
Yeah, but the point is, though, that Ben will run the football. I think that's the biggest thing from the run game that you got to take away. Forget about the yards. He's talked about running the ball, but he does it. So. Yeah, and he backs it up and does it. I mean, guys, I remember we were, because I only remember back in the day, the year Giants won the Super Bowl, I think it was Otis Anderson was their tailback. He averaged like 2.3 yards a carry in the Super Bowl, and they won. So my point was, I think he had about 25 or 30 carries, but the point is sometimes your it's number of runs, not necessarily the yardage, you know.
You mentioned the relief that Ben Johnson must feel. First-time head coach finally gets a victory. That kind of, it's so much lighter this week. What did he, I think, last week, did you learn anything about Ben Johnson and the way that he approached practice and calling out his team? Do you think that had an effect? I mean, when you are a first-time head coach, until you win a game, maybe you aren't as sure as maybe you sound sometimes. What'd you learn about Ben Johnson last week?
Well, that it's just not about Sundays. You know, that preparation during the week is, he understands that you don't gain confidence on Sunday. You know, everybody says, Coach, you know, I want to gain confidence. Well, Caleb gains confidence during the week running these plays, being, throwing the ball to the right guy, making the right decision, getting the ball out on time. That's where you players gain confidence. It's in your preparation, and then you go out there. It's like studying for a test. The test is the game. It's what are you doing to prepare for this test that is the key. Ben Johnson understands how important studying for that test is and studying the right way. That's what I took out of last week's preps.
I thought it was great that in the post game he said that they ran that well, you can't call it a trick play. They ran that gadget play all week, and he was underthrowing the receiver. And he told Luther Burden III on game day, "Don't wait for me. You keep going. I'll get you the ball," knowing how you are on game day and the adrenaline and everything else.
The key to that play, who really makes that whole thing go? It's not the receiver. It's not Caleb.
Swift?
It's running back. We used to run that play.
Yeah.
And going back to my Dallas days, when we ran it with Emmitt Smith, Emmitt was always afraid of getting too close to the line of scrimmage. He says, "Well, I'm afraid I'm going to not be able to pitch it back to Aikman." And so Emmitt would take 2 steps and want to turn around and pitch it, and the defense would do nothing. You know what I mean? It's a pass play. But the key is, if you watch that play again for our listeners, DeAndre Swift damn near ran into the back of the offensive lineman. He pulled them all in, and the corner bit up, the safety bit up, and then he turned and pitched the ball. So the guy that makes that go, when you get into finer details of executing that play, it's the running back.
What about the hang time on the pitch?
It drew
That's
rain.
Unusual. It's not often that you can time.
That also may slow the defense because they're watching the ball hang in the air, and it freezes them for a split second.
Well, the corner on the side where Burden was lined up, Coach, we all saw it. He come running up to the line of scrimmage. What are you doing? That was my first thought. But anyway, that was good scouting. It was good game planning and good execution. It was fantastic.
It always
and,
is.
And
you
know what else happens when you run one of those plays? I used to always run a fake punt early because I wanted the team. And then every week for 16 weeks back then,
they're waiting for it.
They're working on a fake punt, and there's only so many practice reps. Right now, Vegas will run that flea flicker. They'll run that every day in practice this week and making sure that they stay back there. You know what I mean? So that's the other side of the coin. But anyway,
Great stuff, Coach.
Yeah, I got to go get me a hot dog here before that. Okay, I'm going to go stand in line.
Line's forming.
I think Caleb's down there right now. So
you think he's going to show up?
I do.
We wagered on it.
Okay. I'm going to get down there right now and I'm going to try to beat Caleb and get in line before him.
You're going to owe me $1, Dave. That's the reality of it.
All right. See you guys.
Great stuff. That's Coach Wannstedt. You're listening to Mully and Haugh on The Score.